When you hear the word karma, do you think of it as some kind of cosmic force or divine punishment? What if it's really about the natural consequences of our actions in the real world? The Buddhist idea of karma can be understood in many ways, but perhaps the most useful to us is to see it as a natural law of cause and effect. It's about how our actions, physical, verbal, and mental, shape our experiences and our relationships. In this video, I'll try to demystify karma a bit, show how it can work in a natural and practical way, and how understanding it along these lines can empower us to take more responsibility for our actions and live life more skillfully. First, I want to discuss the Buddhist view of karma. In Sanskrit and Pali, the languages of the area, karma literally means action, and originally it was understood to mean correct ritual action, that is to say the benefit or harm we got out of performing correct or incorrect actions in a ritual context. However, within Buddhism, the word karma takes on a broader meaning of any intentional action that we may do. That is, intentional actions that may have consequences not only in the distant future, but have consequences in the present moment as well. Intention plays the key role in the Buddhist idea of karma. Beneficial intentions, good intentions, such as the intention for truthfulness, for honesty, for generosity, for kindness, these tend to produce beneficial results. Whereas impure intentions, such as intentions of greed, of hatred, of delusion, produce results that are painful for ourselves and others. As the Buddha famously said, "It is intention that I call karma, for having intended, one acts by way of body, speech, and mind." Intention is the source and springboard of action. It's where mental purity or impurity makes its true mark. For example, if we act with kindness to others, they may provide us aid and comfort in a time when we need it. On the other hand, if we habitually lie, then others are going to distrust us even when we're speaking truthfully. In this way, our repeated actions, that is to say, our habits, create a mental model through which we see the world and through which the world sees us in turn. As the Buddha himself recognized when he was still a youth, whatever one frequently thinks about and considers becomes their heart's inclination. This, we might say, is also a result of karma, the karma of intentions by repeated thinking. What we think about, we end up intending. What we intend, we end up doing. Second, I think it's important to take a look at karma in the present moment. We don't have to think of karma as something that exclusively comes to fruition in some distant future, but we can also see karma working right here and right now. For example, speaking harshly to somebody can result in immediate tension and conflict with them. Or helping somebody, let's say, pick up something they've dropped off the ground, can result in an immediate benefit through gratitude and a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment. In this way, karmic actions can produce feedback loops that sort of reinforce the original karmic tendency. So if we are helpful to other people, this provides us with satisfaction, with a greater sense of calm, which makes it easier for us to be helpful in the future. Or if we are nasty and angry to other people, this creates a context in which people are going to respond to us negatively in a way that reinforces our natural tendency to be nasty to them. Since we can only create new karma in this present moment, an attitude of mindfulness is key to our doing so in a beneficial way. Mindfulness of the character of our thoughts, mindfulness of the character of our speech, mindfulness of the character of our action. Third, I want to demystify some common misconceptions about karma. Karma in early Buddhism is not some all-powerful, all-determining fate from which escape is impossible. Indeed, the Buddha denies just such an opinion when he's asked about it by Sivaka, a wanderer. Sivaka asks him about the character of karma. He asks the Buddha whether all that we experience, whether pleasant or painful or neutral, is due to our past karma. And the Buddha denies that this is the case. The Buddha says that indeed some of what we experience that is pleasant or painful or neutral is due to past karma, but some of it is simply due to the chance vagaries of life and has other unrelated causes. Also, karma in Buddhism is not some kind of divine retribution. Karmic effects are not because of the punishment provided to us or the benefit provided to us by some all-powerful being. Instead, the results of karma are simply due to natural causes and effects of our intentions and actions. Also, karma is not an eye for an eye in Buddhism. That is, we are not determined to befall the same fate that we have meted out to others or gain the same benefit that we have provided to others. The precise workings of karma depend, at least in the Buddha's view, on innumerable factors of the environment as well as our own prior karmic benefits and faults. And so trying to determine precisely what karmically follows from what in what circumstance is an essentially futile enterprise, one that the Buddha himself in one sutta says, if we try to determine it, it's likely to end up in our own madness or frustration. Sometimes the results of karma may seem obvious to us, but much of the time they don't, and so it's best left aside. We're best encouraged not to try to figure out all of the possible karmic benefits and results. Focus instead on what you can actually influence, which is your own present intentions, speech, and actions. Fourth, let's consider again bringing this kind of mindful attention to karma to the present moment. Spending time mindfully before we intend, before we act, can make an enormous difference. For example, reacting kindly when a server in a restaurant brings you your meal, or when a cashier in a store rings up your order, can make their day brighter and your own as well. Such reactions may even set off a chain of positive interactions that the person maintains with their next customer. Similarly, if we pause before reacting angrily to somebody who has said something nasty to us, we can perhaps de-escalate a conflict that otherwise would have made our day worse. To help break such a cycle of negative karma, consider a practice of forgiveness, of giving up past resentments, because resentments only cause suffering to ourselves as we hold on to them, as well as to others around us as we act out upon them. So we may want to make an intention to live in the present moment without resentments as much as we can. So I encourage you to view each moment as a potential moment to plant new seeds, and ask yourself which seeds of intention and action are you planting right now. Fifth, I want to suggest 3 more possible practices. First of these might be a journal practice. Consider keeping a journal for perhaps a week or so, where you write down at the end of the day or during the day some of your important intended actions that day, and then reflect upon what results followed from those intentions. This can allow us to focus on the relationships between our intentions and the results that follow from them. Or I would suggest a practice we might call the pause and reflect practice. That is, before speaking out in a difficult situation, before taking some precipitous action, we pause for a moment and reflect what our intention is in this circumstance, and whether acting on that intention will produce benefit or harm for ourselves and others in the longer term. Third, we can consider a kind of a gratitude practice, where we focus on our own past beneficial intentions that have helped ourselves and others. We take gratitude in our own past benefits, in the things that we've done that have been good. Now, these don't need to be anything particularly grand and important. They can be something as small as smiling at somebody or saying something nice to someone. The point here is to reinforce our own beneficial intentions and thereby make them more likely to occur in the future. We reinforce them by celebrating them, by calling them to mind. Sixth, to summarize, karma is not about some heavenly judge, but rather about natural causes and effects of our intentions and actions. Sometimes its workings may be obscure, and so it's best to stick with what seems obvious and clear in front of us in the present moment or the near future. We can shape our lives right now through our intentions, our speech, and our actions. Every moment is a chance to lay down new karma and make our lives better and the lives of those around us better. As the Buddha says in the Dhammapada, "For it is by oneself that evil's done. One is corrupted by oneself. It's by oneself that evil's not done. One is purified by oneself. Purity and impurity are personal matters. No one can purify another." Even through small intentions of kindness and goodwill, we can take a step towards purifying ourselves and helping those around us. If you want to hear more about the way that karma is not the entire world in early Buddhism, that karma is not responsible for everything, I did a video about that a little while ago. I'll leave a link to it up here on the screen if you haven't seen it or would like to see it again. If you're getting something out of these videos of mine, consider taking a look at my Patreon page, which is linked up here on the screen and down below in the notes, and see if you want to help support the channel and the work that I'm doing here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. And meanwhile, all of you, be well.